Well, we just watched an insert on the late Axali Doeseb talking about his journey as he composed in Namibia, Land of the Brave, the national anthem. And earlier on, we were talking to the executive director in the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Dr. Audrin Mathe, who was giving us an update on Axali Doeseb himself, as well as the memorial and the funeral arrangements. Dr. Mathe, are you still with us? Good morning once more.
Good morning.
All right. Before earlier on, we were talking about the late Axali Doeseb. What was his contribution to creating a positive and meaningful change in the lives of the Namibian nation?
Thank you so very much. The late Doeseb, lifelong dedication to music, empowerment, and genuine desire for equality and the continuous development was second to none. You may know that he coached and mentored a countless number of young musicians. He was also an intellectual giant in the global Lutheran church music, particularly choral, brass band, symphonic orchestras, and the creation of the new liturgy for UCN. He composed several school anthems around the country and was also a committed judge at various music competitions, including the fact that he served as one of those people who composed the AU anthem. He was an experienced and devoted, influential friend and go-to advisor to many young people.
Right.
Also, there is an aspect of him that has been overlooked by other people, which is that he was a political campaigner for equal rights, free Namibia campaigns, and student organizations while he was studying in GMN. Throughout this period, the late also remained steadfast during the turbulent and challenging political periods in Namibia's history and beyond that. These are really some of the accomplishments that when we speak about him, we ought to remember his contribution towards our country.
All right. And how can we, as the Namibian nation, make sure that the legacy of the Namibian anthem composer remains alive for generations to come?
The national anthem of Namibia is one of the ways in which you can remember. The anthem is going to be there forever. Generally, anthems are composed once in their lifetime. That's really when you sing it, we know that one man had a significant contribution towards our country, especially in the state formation, in the formative years of our nationhood. As I said earlier on, the national anthem is one of the national symbols of our country, and everyone else can identify with any of those symbols, including the anthem, the flag, and the coat of arms.
Right. Now, the memorial service of the late Axali Doeseb will be taking place later today at the Parliament Gardens. Kindly just run us through as to what the public can look forward to.
Firstly, I can say that we expect the general public to arrive at 10 o'clock in the Parliament Garden, as you have said. We will expect members of the diplomatic corps, veterans, service chiefs to arrive, members of parliament, ministers, and also the Right Honorable Prime Minister will stand in as chief mourner in the absence of His Excellency, who we know that has traveled to Finland for the funeral of the late Mathe. So then there will be messages that will be delivered from various speakers, and that will be concluded with a message from His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob, which then will be delivered by the Prime Minister. And then thereafter, friends will have opportunity, friends and relatives will have a chance of delivering messages and tributes to the late Doeseb. This obviously will culminate in the burial service itself tomorrow, which will take place at Pioneerspark Cemetery. And again, we expect the people to arrive by 7:30, because the idea is that by 10 o'clock, the process should have been completed. And the people, the guests that I've mentioned earlier, including the Right Honorable Prime Minister, will then lay wreath on behalf of His Excellency the President, who is out of the country.
All right. Will there perhaps be any specific activities or event during the memorial service that pays tribute to Mr. Doeseb's accomplishments and also reflect on his contribution?
Yes, specifically I've mentioned the fact that there will be tributes on behalf of his friends and comrades, and also relatives. There will be tributes from the children and grandchildren. There will be messages on behalf of the widow. There will be messages on behalf of the chairperson of the Council of Traditional Leaders in Namibia. Then again, we expect that the various political actors in our country will speak, including messages from former President Pohamba, the founding president of the Semnioma. Then that will conclude with a message from His Excellency President Hage Geingob. So those really are the key highlights. The program for the state funeral and official funeral are standard in terms of the state protocol functions.
All right. Dr. Mathe, for those who may not be able to attend the memorial service as well as the funeral in person, will there perhaps be any online platforms or means for them to participate virtually?
Yeah, indeed. This will be broadcast on radio and television, but also we've made plans to ensure that the service is broadcast on our social media platform, the MICT media platform, and also on the platforms of the NBC. So we thank the national broadcaster really for coming to the table to ensure that our hero gets a dignified funeral and memorial service.
Right. Dr. Mathe, perhaps any final remarks before we let you go this morning?
I wanted to encourage the people really to come out in time. The memorial service is taking place at the Parliament Garden. The place is not as big as we expect it to be, so there's limited sitting arrangements. So we really request the people to arrive in good time, but also not to bring any form of weapons or anything that will be construed to be dangerous, because there will be police there to ensure that our security is protected. That will be true for tomorrow. People should just come again in good time, so that the program starts on a good time and then ends at a designated time, so that we allow the family who have gone through a lot in a couple of days to ensure that they get sufficient rest and mourn quietly.
All right. Dr. Mathe, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so very much indeed.
All right. Dr. Audrin Mathe, who is the Executive Director in the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, joining us this morning, giving us an update on the memorial service as well as funeral arrangements of the late Axali Doeseb, who is the composer of the national anthem. He is accorded a state funeral. The memorial service will be taking place today at 10 o'clock at the Parliament Gardens. So at 10 o'clock, that is the time the public is expected to arrive, as well as other delegates, and speeches will be made. He is expected to be buried tomorrow at Pioneerspark Cemetery, also starting from 10 o'clock. And for those that cannot make it for the memorial service as well as the funeral, it will be broadcast live on NBC One. Don't go anywhere.